Hi friends, and welcome back to Mrs. Borton's Basement. It is so great to have you here today. We have been learning this week about open and closed syllables, the difference between what is an open syllable and what is a closed syllable. And we're going to do a really great lesson today. It's one of my favorite lessons called syllabication. And what this does, syllabication allows us to sort of break down our words into the little bitty parts that they are, the syllables, the beats, and sound it out in an easier way. Now parents, if you're joining, you might want to stick around for this lesson because there's some tricky things to it and you might need to help your students get set up today. But you are just going to be like, you're going to be so surprised at what we're doing today with syllabication, and you're going to see how it's going to help us eventually start to attack and sound out these larger words as we get into more and more difficult words as we're reading. It's going to feel like a big process, a very complicated process, but just like anything we learn, sometimes we have to slow things down and take a look at it in kind of a different way so that when we get to doing it on a regular basis, it comes just easily or naturally to us. So this is going to feel a little more complicated, but stick with it because you're going to see how eventually it's going to help your student to really start attacking those bigger words. All right, so earlier this week, we were talking about open and closed syllables, and we said that if our syllable had a door that was shut, we were gonna have a wimpy, short vowel sound, and this was a really good visual for us in our last lesson. You might, if you're confused right now, you might wanna go back and check out that lesson one more time and just practice that again. We said if the door was open, and there wasn't a consonant at the end of our syllable, then that vowel had to be long and strong. So that's what we're going to be looking for today in our syllabications. And a lot of your students have done this with their teachers, so this will not be a new thing. Now what you're going to need today is a couple pieces of paper. You can use front and back on one piece of paper, or get 2 sheets of paper, or because you're going to need to set up your pages so that you have words that are kind of written out big with spaces in between, because we're going to do lots of writing. Another really great thing you could do is take each of these words and make a paper about this size that will leave some space at the bottom that we can write some patterns or some letters down here. So this is a great thing to do. This is another way to set up your papers, but we need 6 words on something. Also students, if you don't have parents helping you out today because they're busy, I know everyone's so busy right now, just set this up yourself, or as we go, pause the tape and write your word as we get to the next one, okay? So parents, go ahead and set this up, pause the video, get set up. You're gonna need paper, pencil, a marker would be super great, or a crayon, something that's another color besides what you wrote your words out with. So go ahead and get set up. Okay, just a reminder that when this syllable has a closed door and it ends with a consonant, then our vowel is going to be long or short. It's going to be a short, wimpy sound. N, ah, t, not. And when our door is open, then our vowel has to be long and strong. So this is an open syllable that says no. Not became no. Now, let's talk about a very important rule today. A syllable will never have more than 3 sounds in it. It can have 1 sound, it can have 2 sounds, and it can have 3 sounds, but never more than 3 sounds. Let's take a look at what this looks like. Here's a word A. It's a sight word. A says A. It has 1 sound. It's also an open syllable. Here's a closed syllable that has 2 sounds. It ends with a consonant. It says at, 2 sounds. At, at. Here is a syllable that has 3 sounds. And by syllable, I mean it has 1 beat. Cat, k, at, cat. Cat is a syllable that has 3 sounds. But what about this? Do you notice there are 4 letters? Mrs. Borton did not say anything about letters. She said sounds. And isn't CH a digraph? And remember, a digraph are two letters, the C and the H, that come together and make a whole new sound. One, I can't pull my hands apart. I can't pull those letters apart. They say ch. That is one sound. So I have ch, a, t. 3 sounds. That is a one syllable chat. Chat. One syllable, has one beat, but 3 sounds, even though there are 4 letters. So we're gonna call blends 2 letters that come together, and they make sort of you can still pull them apart and hear those sounds, but we're gonna call it one sound today if we have a blend. So like in the word, if this was the word slat, and you had an SL, we're gonna call that SL, sl, one sound. Okay, let's move on. Hopefully you have your materials, and you have your first word set up, and it looks like this. Now, even if you're able to sound out this word right now, try not to. We're gonna pretend or play as if we don't know how to read this word, and if you don't know how to read it, I'm gonna show you how we can break it down into 2 syllables today and sound out each syllable. It's gonna be so fun. All right, watch this. What we do when we do syllabications, we're gonna find our vowels first. That's our first rule. And we're gonna go across our word, just like we read from left to right, and we're gonna find our first vowel. So if we're going across, isn't O a vowel? I want you to put a big V like that, right under that O, and then keep going. What's our next vowel? Did you say O? You were right. Put a V under that O. And then I want you to draw your bridge from V to V. Looks like a bridge, doesn't it? And take a look at how many consonants are on the bridge. I'm going to ask you that each time because you can never have more than 2 consonants on the bridge. And then I know M is a consonant, so I'm going to put a C underneath that, M, because C stands for consonant. They both have, consonant. And I'm going to put a C under the B, consonant. And then I need to show you something. This is my handy dandy, I call it a cheat sheet, because cheat sheets kind of help us to remember what we're learning. You can always refer back to it if you get stuck. Look here. That's our most popular pattern of all words, VCCV. It shows up in most of our words. So I know exactly where I'm going to draw my line right between the 2 C's. So if I draw a line from the top of my paper to the bottom, it looks like that, from top to bottom, right between the 2 consonants. Now, what I've done is I've separated my words into 2, 3, no more than 3 sounds, maybe less. Oh, wait a second. Let's talk about this for a minute. Just look at the first syllable. Is that an open or closed? Think about your house. Does it end with a consonant? Yeah. So I'm going to call that a closed syllable. You can write CL for closed if you want. You don't have to. Sometimes I like to do that because that's going to remind me that this O, there's my breathe, my wimpy symbol for a wimpy vowel, smiling. It says ah, k, ah, calm, calm. That's what the first syllable says. All right, let's keep going. What kind of a syllable is our second syllable? Just take a look at that for a second. Does it end with a consonant? That means the door's open. That means it's an open syllable, and I'm going to put an O there for open. That means that vowel is long and strong. And I have a macron. Remember, it's long and strong. I put the macron over it, tell me that O says O. B-O, bow. Now sometimes I like to slap my table. Combo, and I do it slow. Then I move my hands in a little closer. Combo, and then I go really fast. Combo. Ah, a combo. If you go to McDonald's or Wendy's, sometimes you get your hamburger and your fries and your drinks all together, and they call that a combo. All together, combination, short word for combination. the combo, things that go together. That was fun. Let's do another one. Your next word that you should have written on a piece of paper, or remember I told you you could just put it on a separate piece of paper like that, is this word. Let's see if we can figure it out. What's our first vowel? E. Put a V for vowel under the E. Keep going. What's our next vowel? I hope you yelled O. You might even be ahead of me. Did you draw a bridge between the vowels? Good. All right, how many consonants? I see 2 consonants. I'm going to put a C under the M, a C under the P. There's my VCCV pattern that tells me to divide my word between the 2 consonants. Draw that line from top to bottom. What kind of a syllable is the first syllable? Just look there. It ends with a consonant. Did you say closed? Yep, it's closed. That means the E is wimpy. It says eh. Tem. That's a nonsense word. That's not even a word. It's just a syllable. Let's keep going. All right, here's my second syllable. No consonant. The door is open, long and strong. So an open syllable. There's my macron. P-o, po. Tempo. 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 Sometimes music can be fast or it can be slow. That's the tempo, the beat in a piece of music. It's a cool word, tempo. It had a closed and an open syllable. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, things get a little trickier here. Write this word down if you haven't already. You can always pause the video. All right, first vowel. V under the E. Good. I'm sorry, under the A. A is a vowel, put a V under the A. Keep going. Then we have an E, put a V under the E. Draw your bridge. How many consonants? Just one? Yeah, a V is a consonant. All right, this is where things get a little dicey. I'm going to put my paper up here because we're not going to talk about syllable pattern number 4 today. We're only going to be talking about 2 and 3. Here's what gets tricky with this pattern. Do you see how if we have a vowel, consonant, vowel, we might have to divide it in front of the consonant? That's the number 2 pattern. We might have to divide it after the consonant. That's the number 3 pattern. All right. So the way I do this is I'm going to take this piece of paper here and I'm going to fold it. You can take your pencil. I'm going to take my paper though, and I'm going to make a marker. You can take a pencil, a straw works really well, a coffee stir, sometimes maybe like a pixie stick. And I'm going to go with number 2 first. I'm going to put my pattern here, my line here, okay? If I did that, it looks like I would start with what, an open syllable? If I did it here, I would end with a closed syllable, okay? So I'm not going to draw my line yet. If I go here, this would say ray, and this would say then. If I went here, this would say rav, n. Okay, we're going to go with number 2 on this. I heard a word that I know. So draw your line right there in front. The number 2 pattern says to draw your line in front of the consonant. And that means this first syllable, which does not end in a consonant, is an open syllable, and the A is long and strong, and it says r-a, ray. And that means the second syllable ends with a consonant, it's closed. And my vowel is a wimpy vowel. There's that symbol, the breathe. V-e-n, then. Raven. Slap your hands on your table. Raven. A little faster. Raven. Really fast. Raven. That's like a big blackbird. A raven. Oh, Oh, interesting. Good job. Let's go to the next word. Here we go. Are you already starting to see some things? Oh, let's go across. First vowel is a U. Draw a V under the U. The next vowel is an I. Draw a V under the I. And then draw your bridge. How many consonants? I just see an M. Put a C under the M. Oh no. That's not our very favorite pattern, the VCCV. It has to be 2 or 3. Okay. For this one, I'm just going to help you out. We'll eventually get better with this. We can go with 2 or 3. I'm going to go with 2 on this one. Okay. So parents, as we go along, we just have to kind of look at the word and move that line in front of the consonant or behind the consonant and sort of experiment. All right. So here's where my line is. That means my first syllable is what? I hope you yelled open because it does not end. It ends with a vowel. The door is open. The vowel's long and strong. It says hue. Hue. What kind of a syllable is this? It ends with a consonant. You're right, it's closed. And that vowel is wimpy. Id. Mid. Hue. Mid. Slap the table. Humid. A little faster. Humid. You know when you're outside and the air in the summer gets very thick and moist and kind of feels wet and damp? The air is humid. Good job. The next word, are you ready? Write it on your paper. Maybe you've already done that. Here we go. What's our first vowel? Did you yell E? Put a V under the E. What's our next vowel? I see an I. Put a V under the I and draw your bridge. There you go. How many consonants? I just see an N. Put a C under that N. Oh no. We have a VCV pattern. It could be 2 or 3. I'm going to help you out with this one. I wanted to throw in a couple that were number 3. So we're going to draw our line this time after the C. From the top of the paper down to the bottom, right after the consonant. Now our first syllable has a consonant, vowel, consonant. It ends with a consonant. The door's shut. That means it's closed. That means our vowel was wimpy and it said d, n, den. What about this next syllable? Is it open or closed? I only see 2 letters. Don't let that trick you. I see that it ends with a consonant. Remember, that means the door is closed. Did you say closed syllable? That means the vowel is also wimpy. I, im. Den, im. Den, im. Denim. Denim. Hey, I've got jeans on today. They're made out of that material called denim. That's what you make jeans with, denim. Who knew? All right, we got one more word to do today. It looks like this. How are you doing? This is so fun. I love syllabication. All right, our first vowel. I see an A. Our next vowel. Did you yell I? Put a V under the I. Draw your bridge from vowel to vowel. There we go. One, are you already saying uh-oh? One consonant. It could be the 2 or 3 pattern. That's what makes the vowel, consonant so tricky. We don't know where to draw our line. I'm going to help you out today. I'd like you to draw your line after the consonant. I want to practice one more word that has the number 3 pattern, vowel, consonant, vowel. And we draw the line after the consonant. All right, what kind of a syllable? That's our clue. The D ends the syllable and it's a consonant. Did you say close? The door was closed. The vowel was short. It said ah. R-ad. Rad. Rad. All right, let's keep going. All right, what kind of a syllable is this? It does have 3 letters. Hey, did you say to squiggle that SH because it's a digraph? It goes shh, makes 1 sound. Now I only have 2 sounds. A syllable can be 2 sounds. It just can't be more than 3. Does it end with a consonant? It does. It ends with a consonant digraph. Same thing. All right, that means it's closed. That means the I is wimpy. It says I, scrunchy nose I, rad, ish, ish, rad, ish, radish, radish. Oh, have you ever tried to eat a radish? They can be kind of spicy. They're those cute little red and white vegetables. Radish. Hey, thanks for joining me. Today, as you're reading along, if you come up to a word that's a little bit bigger, write it on a separate paper and do some syllabication. See if you can figure out your closed and your open syllables. Have a great day.